I just wanted to talk a little bit about my strategy and an update for investing with put options. So I've kind of expanded and changed the strategy a little bit. I think originally I had a lot of QQQ puts against the market, which I still have, but I've kind of shifted them. So something I've learned is, and I'm not sure if this is entirely like correct information. I'm going to be ordering a couple books on options trading that I'll be reading hopefully in the coming weeks. So I'll get a better idea. But I've noticed that when you buy the most out of the money option contracts for puts, what ends up happening is that it ends up going up by like a lot because it's so far out. Like if you imagine like the sliding scale where you have, out of the money, like all the way on the left, right? And then in the money in the middle and then out of the money again on the right. So like the bottom would be kind of, of course you have this for calls and puts, but the idea is the farther on the extremes you are, the cheaper it kind of is, at least is my understanding. And then the more in the middle you are, that's the hot strike zone in the money where it's like those prices are constantly being hit. And so I think there's many different ways to do it, but pretty much you could try to, get something in the middle where it's actually hitting the strike price and therefore the contract is actually like usable. Or you can go at one of the extremes, and then as the whole continuum shifts and now the in the money zone starts shifting towards that side, then that will cause the value to appreciate a lot because it's, in my eyes, it's like a probability game, right? If you're at those other ends of the extremes, pretty much what it's saying is that currently, as everything stands with the price, everything, there's a very, very low probability that it's going to hit that strike price. Therefore, it's a very low and cheap relative, contract. And for some reason, there's a large change in volatility. At the same time, there's a decent change in price. This will cause the in the money zone to shift to either side. And now your, what was once very out of the money may actually become in the money, or it may become very close to it. And as a result, the likelihood that that price actually gets hit increases and the value increases a lot. So this is something I saw because I had two QQQ put option contracts, and one was for I think a price of like 400 or something. And then the other one's for like a price of 300, right? Which are already very low and may not actually even get hit. But with the past trading day today, I saw that the 350 one was only up by I don't remember exactly, but let's just say like $50 or $100, while the other one was up by like 300. So I decided to, maximize the leverage. And obviously, right, this is a risk. I could just lose it. But the point is that by going to those extremes, as long as you have a decent thesis of why it actually should go in that direction, especially with a put option, then you can take advantage of those contracts being cheaper. And then you can also take advantage of there's a higher, increase in my eyes of how much the value can increase. Now, I could be wrong about this. We'll see. Another thing I've added a lot of nvidia puts as well as crowdstrike puts. So we'll see how that goes. The nvidia puts were very, very cheap. I also bought very low ones. So we'll see if we have any liquidity issues with that. Maybe. Well, I guess we'll find out. But pretty much I think it was I want to say $50 for 100. So I bought quite a few shares of that. So we'll just see how it plays out. But I'm definitely very bearish going forward. So, and all these contracts are to expire in June of 2028 or December 2028. So these are very, very, this is a 2-year contract. So I mainly do this just so there's less volatility, in decay and value due to that. But yeah. We'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you guys updated, and hopefully I can read some books so I actually get some real knowledge versus just these, bits and pieces I see online.